beautiful sceneries, and cozy atmosphere. Those are the things that you will find in Europa. I think those are also the first thing that attract me to this game. But when I play this game, it's actually not as cozy as I thought it would be. Until the dev released first major update which changed everything. So I think it's time for me to share a few things about this game that I think cozy gamers need to know before playing. So now let's check the game. In this game, you will play as Z, an android who explores Europa to learn about what happened with his father and other humans that once lived in the Jupiter moon. To do it, you will be collecting your father's journal, which is scattered all over the moon. Before you dive into the game, you will be able to choose whether you want to disable the threats or not using the Zen mode. This means you will disable everything dangerous, including the threats. So if you are the type who loves challenge, you can skip this option and just play in normal mode. But if you are a cozy gamers like me, then I suggest you to turn on this mode since you can't change it in mid-game. For me personally, I think this mode is big since I can explore the planet in a more relaxing way. As cozy gamers, I'm not the type who love being attacked, so I'm glad that the dev added this option since now the game is more accessible for cozy gamers like me. For the gameplay itself, the game combines platformer and puzzle. You will use the Zebra jetpack that you can charge with energy to jump, even fly across the land. I think this jetpack makes the platformer different from other platformer games, as you need to master the movement of the jetpack to really use it. But the game has this physics that makes the movement feels a bit weird, so it's hard to master the jetpack movement. Not only that, but since the jetpack capacity is limited, you have to continuously charge it. So when you fly, you have to fly from one charging spare to another to refill the jetpack. For me, I managed to finally get used to this mechanic on the last quarter of the game, so it takes a while until you get used to it. For the puzzle itself, you will find a few environment puzzles. It's easy to understand even with limited direction. You just need to explore the area and solve the puzzle to move to the next area. There will be new mechanic every few chapters, so it doesn't feel boring. As cozy gamers, I think this simple puzzle makes the game feels more enjoyable. But if you're the type who loves challenging puzzle, then you won't find it in this game. Besides a few sci-fi inspired creatures scattered around, the world itself is pretty empty. There are rough structures around, but they mostly work as barrier or just empty structures with nothing inside. But the land itself is very pretty and breathtaking. Some part of the world has surreal sceneries that's very pretty to look at. The beautiful music that flows behind it also makes the atmosphere even cozier. So if you don't mind not being able to interact with anything in the world, I think exploration could feel very relaxing. Especially since there's no timer or anything that will rush you, so you can enjoy the game without worry in the Zen mode. Besides collecting your father's journal, you can collect creatures drawing and emerald. But I don't find any purpose of collecting them besides getting the achievement, so I mostly just ignore them. All I focus on is just collecting the journal, which is very easy since it is marked with lights that's visible even from afar. Since the story is narrated, you don't need to actually read it yourself. The game is split in chapters, so the pacing feels right as it makes me curious to know what happened next. The story itself feels bittersweet with a few twists at the end. The game has full control support, which I suggest you to use since it will make it easier for you to fly and glide. The game has few settings that I think useful if you have bad eyesight like me, such as subtitle scale and brightness setting. However, there's no accessibility setting beyond that, which is a shame since I do feel a little motion sickness when playing it. I think the focus of this game is the narration and the breathtaking world. The art style of this game reminds me a lot to Studio Ghibli. Together with the music, it makes me feel as if I'm entering a movie instead of a game. So I think this game will suit those who love relaxing gameplay with heartfelt story and cozy world. Europa managed to beautifully narrate their story in a way that makes you feel connected to the sci-fi inspired world and characters. And if you want a cozy building game to play, check my Google Town review video.